All right, let's talk about putting. Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating system called Puttalyze. It's a whole new way of thinking about getting better, and it has less to do with your putter and a lot more to do with literally rewiring your brain.
So, I want to start with a question that might challenge everything you've ever been told about golf. What if the secret to sinking more putts isn't your aim? What if that thing you focus on the most is actually not the most important piece of the puzzle? And that brings us to the core principle of this whole system: pace before line. The idea is simple, but it's a total game changer. Before you even think about direction, you have to master distance control. It's the absolute non-negotiable first step. And the stats on this are, well, they're pretty brutal. When you really break it down, the vast majority of putts we miss aren't because we aimed poorly. Nope, it's almost always because the speed was wrong. Too hard, too soft. And listen, if the speed is wrong, the ball has zero chance of going in. It's that simple. This is where it all clicks into place. Pace dictates the line, always. You literally cannot pick the right line if you don't know the speed. Think about it, right? A putt that's dying at the hole is going to break a ton. A putt that's hammered is going to hold its line. So your line is just a wild guess until you can control your pace. Okay, so what does this have to do with your brain? Well, this is the key insight. Getting your distance control right isn't really a mechanical problem. It's a neurological one. It's about what's happening upstairs. This is so cool. You've kind of got two different brains trying to putt. You have your conscious brain. That's the worrier. It's the one that gets tied up in knots with doubts and fears and trying to calculate everything. But then you've got your cerebellum. That's your autopilot. It doesn't think 20 feet, it just knows the feel of a 20-foot putt because it's stored the program, and that's the one we need to train. So what's the big bad guy in the story? What's getting in the way? It's something called visual outcome bias. You can think of your visual system as a total drama queen. The second the ball is struck, it jumps in and starts judging. Oh, it's short, you missed, right. And all that noise completely messes up your cerebellum's ability to just learn the pure feel of the stroke. So how do we shut that drama queen up? How do we bypass all that judgment and talk directly to our internal autopilot? Well, it comes down to this really simple, super powerful, and honestly, kind of weird drill. Okay, so here's how you do it. It's super simple. You grab 3 balls, find a flat spot on the putting green. No hole, you're not aiming at anything. Your only job is to try and make 3 strokes that feel exactly the same. But here's the weird part. Right after you hit that third putt, you have to turn your head completely away. Don't watch them roll. I know what you're thinking. That last step makes zero sense, right? If you're trying to get better at distance control, shouldn't you, I don't know, see what the distance was? So why on earth would you look away while the balls are still moving? Well, the answer is just, it's brilliant. Looking away is like hitting the save button on that motor program. By deliberately cutting off the visual feedback, you're silencing that drama queen visual system we talked about. You're forcing your brain to store only the pure feeling of the stroke, the rhythm, the energy, the timing. And what this builds over time is something called feed-forward calibration. It's a fancy term, but all it means is that your brain learns to predict how far the ball will go based purely on the feel of the stroke. You're not guessing anymore. Your autopilot just knows. This feel equals 15 feet. It becomes totally automatic. Okay, so you've built this amazing internal feel for distance. Awesome. But you still got to get the ball in the hole, right? So how do you connect that subconscious feeling to the actual physics of putting? Well, that's where a little bit of tech comes in to bridge that gap. So here's something the app helps you see, a concept called effective hole size. A golf hole is always 4.25 inches wide, right? But if your ball gets there going way too fast, the laws of physics mean the hole literally gets smaller. The ball is way more likely to lip out. Hitting it at the optimal speed gives you the biggest possible target to hit. And when people stick with this daily calibration, the results are, well, they speak for themselves. We're talking real, measurable changes to your scorecard. A huge drop in 3 putts. You start making more of those crucial 4 to 10 footers, and you can show up to a new course and adapt to the green speeds way, way faster because you have this built-in gyroscope for pace. Now, that core drill is incredibly powerful, but here's the thing. It's really just phase 1 of the whole system. Phase 1 gives you the tool, a consistent, reliable stroke. The next 2 phases are all about mastering the mental game and overcoming the fear that can wreck even the best mechanics. So here's the full roadmap to confidence. Phase 1, the Core-Putt Drill, builds your reliable stroke. Then Phase 2, the Instinct Challenge, basically holds up a mirror to that fear that makes us leave everything short. And finally, Phase 3, the Overshoot Drill, actually trains you to confidently get the ball past the hole, reprogramming your brain to see that as a success. It's a complete journey.
So let's just pull back from the golf course for a second to wrap this up. If this is how you truly master a complex skill, by ignoring the result for a little while and focusing relentlessly on the quality of the input, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other skills in your life, whether it's playing piano or public speaking, what could you get dramatically better at if you just focused on training the input instead of obsessing over the outcome?